before we take our next break, everybody's talking mock draft right now. Mel Kiper's got his mock draft 2.0 out. Todd McShay's got mock drafts. Everybody's got mock drafts out. So I figured it's time for me to throw on my NFL draft hat in terms of Alabama football. Bama players going in the first round. So check this out. This is Steven's mock draft 1.0 as John is getting us ready. So John Ivory, check me out here. So at number 3 overall, the number 3 overall pick, the first guy to come off the board for Alabama at number 3 overall, give me Devonta Smith to the Miami Dolphins. I know there's a lot of conversation about between he and Jamar Chase of LSU. I think if you're Miami, you got the right coach in Brian Flores. You drafted the right quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. He's putting in so much work in the offseason to be better. You went out there and got Charlie Fry, a coach that Tua is very familiar with, going back to his days in the Elite 11. You build on that commitment by getting Tua a wide receiver. And what better receiver than one that he had the heroic 2nd and 26 play with, and that being one, Devonta Smith. So I feel like Miami will continue that commitment to Tua by drafting Smitty, number 3 overall in the first round. Smitty, the first guy off the board. Going on down here to the number 6 overall pick, and that belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is where Jalen Waddle comes off the board. Now, he can go off the board anywhere in the first round, whether it's the top 10, middle of the first round, bottom order of the first round. But I look at, with the Eagles releasing Deshaun Jackson, the one thing Philadelphia has lacked is having those instant offense wide receivers that could take the top off the defense and score from any area on the field. And much like Tua could use Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts can use Jalen Waddle. Hurts very familiar with Waddle, both guys from the state of Texas, and you give Jalen Hurts a Jalen Waddle, he can take the top off the defense, he can give Philly that instant offense that it needs there on that side of the football. Number 6, Jalen Waddle coming off the board, in my opinion, to Philly. Moving on down 2 spots later to number 8, this is where I see Mac Jones coming off. The Carolina Panthers to Matt Rule and Joe Brady. Now, there have been talks about, does a team trade up to get Mac Jones? Do the Chicago Bears trade up? Do the New England Patriots trade up from 15 and they get into the top 10 to get Mac? It could happen, but I think the best fit, number 8 to Carolina. He's worked with Coach Rule at the Senior Bowl. Mac Jones and Coach Rule have a great rapport with each other. We saw 1 year with Joe Brady, the success that Joe Burrow had as the quarterback of LSU. He went from being a 6th-round pick after the 2018 season to after the 2019 season, Burrow a 1st-round pick and the number 1 overall pick of the 2020 draft to those Cincinnati Bengals. You put, a Mac Jones and a Joe Brady system in Carolina could really be something special there, especially when you've got Christian McCaffrey at running back and you've got a bunch of young receivers that can really truly do work. Mac Jones, number 8 there to Carolina. Moving on down to number 10 overall in the first round, Patrick Surtain II to the Dallas Cowboys. I really like him right here because Dallas, the weakness of Dallas has always been its secondary, especially in the last few years. They've gotten better on the defensive line. They've gotten better at linebacker with Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. But the one question has always been that defensive secondary that's always kind of plagued Dallas. Now, the Cowboys got Trayvon Diggs last year in the draft, and Diggs was a quality revelation for this team. Diggs has talked about it. I want to play with my little brother. I want to play with Patrick Surtain. So here's a move here for Jerry Jones, number 10 overall. Get Surtain to Dallas. He only gave up 2 touchdown receptions a season ago in his final year with the Crimson Tide. As we move on down here, give me Christian Barmore with the 22nd overall pick to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee needs edge rushers. It needs pass rushers. This is the one thing the Titans are lacking defensively. Linebackers are pretty set. Defensive secondary, pretty good. They lack a pass rush. Tennessee lacks those edge guys that can affect the quarterback. And when you're playing in an AFC South that can be difficult at times, you need to have that guy to hit the quarterback. Christian Barmore this past season was huge for Alabama getting after the opposing team signal caller. And then last but not least to me, at the number 24 overall pick, give me Najee Harris right now. The Miami Dolphins could take Najee Harris at 18, but I'm looking at Pittsburgh to take Najee at the 24th overall pick. Why? Pittsburgh could look at quarterback first and get somebody to replace Ben Roethlisberger, but at the same time, it also needs a run game. Pittsburgh has not been able to run the football the way it needs to have a balanced offense, take some pressure off the passing game. So getting a Najee Harris in Pittsburgh would be really, really beneficial here for the terrible towel, the steel curtain, those Steelers. But that would be my mock draft 1.0 as of right now. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.